This was brutal. This was very painful. And I can't blame anyone but myself because I got caught up into the hype. I got caught up into the MLS versus the USL, the league versus league battle that was happening because you have all of this different news, the USL promotion and regulation coming in, the MLS saying they don't want to compete in the Open Cup anymore, USL bringing a Division I league. So you had all of this drama happening and I got caught up in it. I did. The US Open Cup I thought was going to be different. I thought the USL Championship or USL League One team was going to have a winner because there were some great games. There was a couple of cup sets happening early on in the Open Cup, but then the round of 32 happens and one by one, each USL club gets eliminated. And it was brutal. The round of 32 was absolutely brutal. This is how I felt because I was so excited for it. I said the competition is going to get real and MLS is going to see that the USL is not very far away. So this is literally what happened to me. But yeah, like I said, one by one, each team gets eliminated, and it's brutal. The only team left is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and so we think, okay, Pittsburgh Riverhounds is one game at a time. You can do this. You're going to advance, and everybody got behind Pittsburgh. Everybody was behind the Riverhounds, rooting for them. Every USL team, every USL Championship fan. So you think this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year where they're going to make it far, especially with the fashion of them beating the way they did NYCFC. It's the stoppage time at home in front of a great crowd, in front of they have the greatest view in the USL, the greatest stadium view in Pittsburgh. It is an absolutely beautiful stadium. And the way that they win at the stoppage time, 1-0, that was absolutely stunning. And you could see how electrifying it was for them, how much it meant for the city of Pittsburgh, how much it meant for the team, the players. You think maybe they can do this again. They'll be able to advance and to do it in great fashion like they did with NYCFC. But yeah, the game versus Philadelphia Union did not turn out that way. So it hurts. It hurts. And I'm sure a lot of guys are nervous because this is the next step, right? From here on out, you're going to verse nothing but MLS teams. And so I'm sure a lot of nerves go into this type of game. In the first 10 minutes, okay, you do what you have to do. I've heard of coaches say like, hey, you got to tackle every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, we reset, we kind of get our thoughts together, but just battle it out for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, you're going to execute what we have to do. And so it's 0-0. But then all of a sudden, in the 13th minute, a very questionable call, in my opinion, gets called. And it's a penalty for the Philadelphia Union. But I honestly cannot believe that was a penalty because the Philadelphia Union player missed it. And the Pittsburgh Riverhound defender was behind him. And it looks like the Philadelphia Union player is going to hit it. He's going to hit it with their head, but he totally misses it. And so it bounces off the player's hand. And so, in my opinion, I ask, how can this be a penalty? And you can't help but wonder, is it because a girl is refereeing?
You play ball like a girl! What did you say?
It was a joke. It was a joke. I was joking. But in all seriousness, no, you have to ask yourself, what was she thinking? How was that a penalty? In my opinion, that should not have been a penalty. Like I said, he totally missed the ball. The Philadelphia Union player missed the ball, and it bounces off the Pittsburgh Riverhounds' arm. So I think she gets it completely wrong, and I think because of that, it changes the momentum. I feel like Pittsburgh players were already nervous, and when you get a call like that, they score early on in the 13th minute, it's going to change the momentum, and from there on out, you could see it. You could see the nervousness. You could see players being nervous. You could see that they were not in the game anymore. And so it cost them. Unfortunately, it cost them the game. They end up losing 4-1. But I will say this, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds had the best goal in that game.
Much of the game. Takes a shot, curls it around and scores! Jorge Garcia! My goodness!
Garcia scoring that goal in the 63rd minute when it was already 3-0, which is very tough. I mean, that's sad. I believe he was a substitute coming in. He scores that goal from outside of the box and curls it in. That goal was absolutely beautiful. It takes away some of the pain that happened in this game. I mean, the score sheet ends up being 4-1, but that goal, it gave them a little bit of life, if you want to call it that. You know what? It didn't give them life, but it gives us something good to talk about because when you score like that That's what's going to stand out in a game. But unfortunately, like I said, they end up losing. And in the fourth goal, I mean, look at this. There was only like 2 Pittsburgh defenders. And how many Philadelphia Union players do you see? So it's stuff like that that's going to cost them. It's going to hurt them. But that's pretty much how the game went. You could see the confidence level was low, and they couldn't answer for when Philadelphia scored. I mean, like I said, you could just see it. You could see that Pittsburgh was already out of the game. Mentally, they were already out. But yeah, now that the dust has settled, and like I said, I got caught up in it. I really got caught up in this. USL is not that far behind from MLS, or I never thought that this many teams would be eliminated so early when the MLS teams barely got into the US Open Cup, when they barely started playing. I did not think this many teams would be eliminated. And like I said, all the credit to Pittsburgh, because they are the only one that advanced from the USL side. That was already an accomplishment. But yeah, it made me realize that the gap is still pretty wide, that the MLS is still very much ahead. And you can't ignore that because they have so much money. They have way more money than the USL does. You have some teams in the USL paying some of their players bare minimum. So of course, it is going to be like a David and Goliath. You have better players, better resources. So all of that stuff plays into effect. And I did see it. I saw it happen during this tournament. But it gets me excited for what's going to happen next with the USL Division 1 coming in. I understand that this is still a very small league, it's still kind of newish, if you want to say it like that. But the resources will come. And that doesn't take away from the love of the fans, the love of the people supporting their league, supporting their club. Even if it's lower division soccer in America, it doesn't matter, because some of the fans in the USL, they still come out and support their club way more than what you see in the MLS side. I mean, you have MLS Division 1 teams playing in the Open Cup, and it was empty, absolutely empty, these stadiums. And you don't see that in the USL. You will see fans show up for their team in the USL, in the Open Cup, and we have seen it. There's plenty of examples of that happening. Just because it's lower league or Division 2 doesn't take away anything from the fans, from the people loving this soccer. And I'm one of them. Like I said, I definitely feel like it's an underdog, but don't get it twisted. The USL is growing and more people are tuning in. But yeah, I just want to make a quick recap on what happened with the US Open Cup and with Pittsburgh now being eliminated. Unfortunately, this year, another MLS club is going to win the US Open Cup. And it sucks because you really want a USL side to win, because the MLS has said, we don't want to play this anymore. We don't take this tournament seriously anymore. And they keep winning. That's what sucks about it too. It adds like a dagger, because just the way that they have publicly said, we don't take this seriously. We really don't care about this tournament. And yet they're winning. So that's very frustrating. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the gap is still very much wide with the MLS and the USL? Are you still a fan of the US Open Cup? Are you going to be watching it? I would love to know what you guys have to say. But with that, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will leave this comment here so you guys can read it. I actually liked it. So yeah, once again, thank you so much. And I will see you all on the next one.